Let's see if this works. What are we doing? Oh. Well, that's a bit shit.
A rift! Move! Destroy it from within!
Oh boy.
Yes, here.
Dominates! Its will is weakening. The nether brain's ours! Count on me.
What? Not doing any damage just yet.
This is it. Its will is weakening.
Yes, yes it is. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shit. He's coming in now.
It's time!
My girl Lizelle.
Destroy the nether brain and end the grand design!
Okay. Nope, that's okay. Please don't miss. What? Whew. I need Orpheus to move. Guys, you need to not be in there. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Is it my turn yet? fuck? Yeah, yeah. What was that? Hey.
There you are, you wretched thing. Time to die.
Should have jumped in there, shouldn't I? Really? Shoulda. Shoulda. Yoo-hoo!
Impossible.
There. At last. It is subdued.
Spare me. Join me. Wield me. Become absolute.
And thus, I honor my mother's legacy. The grand design, once again, ended by my line.
The brain is on the cusp of its final thought, and it's taking all of Orpheus's strength to keep it there. An opportunity, perhaps.
Well, we know what we're gonna do.
My master. I
And just gonna skip through a little bit of this.
Hopes, nightmares, and the screams of legions upon legions of unborn lipids. The pain rips through you, obliterating all thought, all feeling. Your tadpole burns in your brain. Silence. Free of urge and worm, your brain is battered and bruised. But it is yours. Yours at last.
Nani? Alright, let's go. Skip, skip, skip. What is wrong with me? Oh,
Everything you did.
what?
Everything you sacrificed. It was worth it.
They're floating.
For this.
Alright. Oh no, Shadowheart. She's wearing her undies.
We did it! We actually did it! And the city's still standing.
And I'm still standing in the sun. This is incredible. Maybe whatever changed in me was permanent.
I wish.
The parasite. It's withered. Dead along with the nether brain. I am cleansed.
I will never be a filthy geich. Only mild offense intended, of course. You did the unthinkable, and I'm grateful for it.
Even when my time in the prism stretched out like eternity, when escape seemed impossible, I never lost hope. I knew that my destiny was to liberate my people, to return to them triumphant. I was wrong. It seems I can only fulfill one part of my destiny. My people will be liberated, but I cannot return to them. Not like this. You helped me destroy that abomination. Now help me destroy myself. You must kill me. But first, Lae'zel, I need your promise. Carry my hope. Carry my burden. Call my dragons, Kulos and Kuthos, and ride to the Astral Sea. Destroy Vlaakith. Release our people. Be our future and our legacy.
It will be done. I will never be free while my people are still bound by Vlaakith's chains.
Enough talk. Give me my freedom. Freedom from this form. I will not be Geich. I did what I did to save my people. The rest is up to them. Someone else must rise within the ranks to lead the revolution against Vlaakith. Give me my freedom from this form. Release my soul to the astral seas, while I still have one to call my own.
Brutal.
Githka Tavkim crushed.
Rip.
Kulos! I can never forget you. Your name will be etched in our slates. You will be called Mlagir, Liberator. To the skies!
A reprieve from the Githyanki invasion. For this day at least.
With the Githyanki gone, there's nothing left but the silence of the city. Smoldering, waiting to be rebuilt. But it seems that Gale's mind is elsewhere.
The crown. It's somewhere in the Gionthar. If I salvage the stones, the power of Karsus would be in my hand. But what then? What would I do with it once I have it? A wise suggestion. I felt a hubris once before and landed myself with this orb. think I'd rather not make the same mistake again. If this adventure has taught me anything, it's that there are things in this world far more valuable than power. Besides, growing quite fond of this merry band of ours, but I'd quite like to see what happens to it. I'm sure Mistra will summon me soon enough, but until then, I propose we celebrate our victory the mortal way, with a drink in our hands and reckless abandon in our hearts.
Yeah.
I honestly don't mind what we do once we get to the... Ow!
Sad face.
Oh no. Oh God. Well, it was nice when it lasted. Ah! I'm sorry. I have to go.
Bye, my love.
I doubt we'll ever see that face basking in the sun again.
We did it, soldier. The city's going to be
Shut
all
her
right.
heart.
And so are you. Engine's finally cooked. Held on just long enough. So, how'd I do? So are you. My friend. My companion. I adore you. Careful! Hot! I never gave up. I did my best. I did my best. It's the one thing I can't beat, isn't it? I wanted to live in my city with my friends. But life is for the living. And I saw... Goodbye, sun. Goodbye, sea. Goodbye. I'm ready. I stand back. I'm going to.
No. That sucks. And we'll skip there.
It's over. And it's all because of you, who were destined to become a thrall. You slept like a babe straight through the night, dreamless, thoughtless, and almost entirely free. For the first time, you feel alone, calm. You breathe.
Yay.
Baal may have been your beginning, but he will not be your end.
Yeah.
Of all those you killed in your father's name, one lingers in your mind even now. Alfira, the bard of the Emerald Grove.
Rip.
Her death weighs upon you still. A burden you will carry for the rest of your days. But fortunately, you will not have to carry it alone.
darling.
Oh, hi.
I was just thinking about freedom. How I'm free of the parasite. Free of Cazador. How I'll never be in someone's power again. And all it cost was my life in the sun. Now I belong to the shadows. So, what happens next?
Well, can you not tell?
True, the Spawn will need someone to lead them, otherwise they'll just be a murderous, blood-sucking horde. Although, I couldn't help but notice you said we should find them. Is that what you want? Is this what you want?
Mm-hmm.
I would understand if you wanted to go your own way. Good. Because, selfless as I am, I really did not want to let you go. We are rather excellent together, you know. And united, there is nothing we can't do. I can't say what the future holds for us, but I know we'll be facing it together. And we're going to have a lot of fun.
Starting now. Epilogue. Please.
You have made a fortress in the Underdark with Astarion and other outcast vampire spawn. It is not civilized, it is not safe, but it is home. Few know how to find you, and most that do are unwelcome. So when a message arrives addressed to you both, you fear the worst. Hunters, killers, tormentors. But you need not fear. This letter is an invitation, and it comes from a friend.
Yay!
Written in a frail hand, it requests your presence at a gathering of your former allies, those who stood with you against the Absolute. The journey to the surface is long and perilous, but you would not miss this for the world.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight, fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great...
Thanks, bud.
Best be on my way.
There you are. Starting to wonder if you'd show up. I thought perhaps you mightn't want to be reminded of the past, even if it was to see old friends. But I'm glad to be proven wrong. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it. I suppose I do, don't I? I'm glad you seem well. Truly. Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can find... one of my first stops was... It seemed like the... Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. Gods, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that Oh, I know they are. I can still sense them, I think. And one day we'll be reunited. Well, I've had run-ins with my... Don't worry. I know they're tired. None other. I have hopes that perhaps you might turn from Shah entirely, given time. I don't know. Which is just the way I like. I'd like to see the islands, maybe, or head south to Arm. But enough about me. What have you been up to? As am I. It's well deserved. Hopefully, these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I miss the tadpoles, but at least it brought us together. Now we've got to make... I'm sure we will, but let's be proactive. After all, we've faced down bigger threats than wrangling together a few social calendars. Don't be a stranger.
Tends to be pretty difficult. William?
There you are. Gods, I must look a mess. I just rolled out from under a pesky ogre when Withers yanked me in.
Well.
Oh, I didn't mean... well, I didn't mean that. I just gutted the ogre, not... How about I change the subject before I dig this hole any deeper?
Yes.
It's so good to see you. And I've got so much to tell. The trolls I've torn open. The ghouls I've cleaved. The stories I've been itching to tell.
Go ahead.
I don't suppose you'd indulge me.
Of course.
Yes, but just the one, or I'll be yammering all night. You want to hear about the Stegosaurus that bullied Candle Keep?
Stegosaurus?
The impossible lich, or the young dragon who crawled out of Deeping Cave?
The Stegosaurus.
Wizards have a penchant for unusual pets. A flying cat. Delightful. A menagerie of dinosaurs, on the other hand.
Yeah, what?
The wizard in question was called Rylan. Had a half-dozen eggs smuggled into Candlekeep from the jungle. Did you know it takes 3 10 days for a hatchling Stegosaurus to reach the size of a cave bear? Rylan sure didn't. Wasn't a month before the place was overrun by rampaging stegos. The great readers dealt with 5 of them without too much trouble. The remaining one, well, young Rylan cast in large on it by mistake. The beast rampaged through the baths, demolished Ogma's temple, and smashed through the east wall. Stegos may not have much taste for meat, but they've got a hell of a temper. Luckily, this one had only clobbered a few farmhouses once I'd caught up. The ground shook as it charged me. I vaulted over the beast and grabbed it by the tail. It bucked and bellowed as I climbed its plates and straddled its head. I plunged a blade into the left eye, straight into the brain. It fell to the ground with a thud. Bet the ravens are still picking at its carcass to this day.
Wow. What a story.
I wish you'd been there to join in. Oh, to battle together, just like the old days. I suppose that's my way of saying I miss you. Tonight, I toast not just the people we've become, but the people we were. Warriors, winners, saviors. She's kept her leash loose, though I've been no stranger to the hells. Every target she's set me on's been a demonic intruder. Tenari assassins who slip into Avernus. Armonites that amass near the Styx. My next mark's the most challenging yet. Or so she says. But I don't know much more. Only that it's no demon, but a devil. She's playing a game. I don't know what it is or how she plans to win, but I can tell you this much. I'd fall on my own blade and join the blood war in an instant should Zariel's hell-touched fingers stretch towards the coast. And as long as I'm more useful as a warlock, that's not a risk Mazora would take. I've missed you too. Though, if I had to do it all over again, and I've seen him more, he's leading the city's... The likes of Baines, he still believes in the bow and the blade. Go on, or waste a single drop of wine for that matter.
The one comprising mostly of bone.
Well now. You can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to.
Tea.
How nice to be understood again. I have spent the past months bickering with builders and bankers, all to restore the city. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers, same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon, same cisterns overflowing.
Sure.
An empty throne, thanks to you. The city will not be long in burying it. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubborn harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. My own son, Jord. Not so for my daughter, though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two. There is still much to do.
Oh, that's right.
People
I never
to
spoke to her
house,
kids in this
the harbor
playthrough.
network to rebuild. I may have little love for this city, but so long as my family chooses to serve it, I can do no less. But I see the flush in your cheeks when I speak of family. Perhaps you mean to start one of your own. I don't want to watch over a blood match where the duelists call me auntie. You just be careful, Valspawn. All right, Bal child. It is true you are no longer what you were. You have done well for yourself. For all your travels, I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you. Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs. I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know.
I remember one evening when we had to...
Old friend.
Hello.
For 2 months I trained the Knights of the Comet. For 2 more I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2... But to see your face, it brings me even...
Limbo, she'd said. A plane of chaos where you might drink fire like water. Where you might breathe ice instead of air. And the home of the mystical Githzerai.
Githzerai.
Once the Githzerai were one of the Githyanki, until bloody civil war severed them.
I do. I approach the gates of Shraktalor even now.
Shraktalor. How well you know the name. The capital city of the Githzerai, and the home of their immortal god king, Zerith Menyar Agith.
Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. My blade is keen as ever. But it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes,
Kind
a
of.
sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. UrGe is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. And if he refuses, I carry on. I am the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable. I suppose it is, rather. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents, a few stolen psi crystals, and 2 10 days of effort to conjure my projection. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This... Fey Run. More to the point, I missed you. But I'll be back to see you again when the comet has risen. As surely as Kalir will forever circle the sun. So it has.
Oh, the egg
And
hatch.
a fine man the hatchling will be.
Oh.
I call him Zan. Freedom.
Oh,
He is
wow.
with the mages of Zamvardim. I trust his care to no one else. Zan's
Fuck yeah.
destiny will be his own to follow. Warrior, poet, explorer, scholar. His way will be the way of the comet. No chains to bind us, no lies to bury us. Liberty will be the rallying cry that unites our empire.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I forgot about that egg. And now my knife. Why is your crossbow up there?
And how have our friends fared without us?
Yeah.
I'm glad. It would be so easy to go through everything we did and come out the other side bitter and twisted. But they deserve happiness. We all do. And I will forever be grateful to have found it with you.
Teehee. Hugs.
I do feel a little bad keeping you all to myself. After all, I get to see you every night. Go on, go mingle. Enjoy your time with the others. Bless them with your presence. I'll be here when you're ready. I'll always be here, my love.
No, my heart. What else we got?
You made it!
Oh, hey.
Now the revelry can truly... You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without you. Perhaps that is so for you, but for me... It may be that a peaceful life after so many years of tumult has made me sentimental. I dwell upon what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day. I always do.
Yeah, alright, let's get it. It's hug. Dear Halson.
That was more than worth the wait. Apologies. You can probably understand. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing. In that case, our community grows.
Well,
The old
skip this,
masonry
we've
of
already
Moonrise
listened
Towers
to
and
it.
Wraithwin have been repurposed into new homes. And the land is rich with harvests and bounty.
Oh no, he's actually shut up. Whoops, I fucking broke him.
As am I. I may age more slowly than most, but I do believe I've gained some new laughter. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no detail. Their appetite for bedtime. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake. I am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image.
The intrepid Fist discovers they had been committing the murders all along.
You have kept yourself busy. I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. And should you wish to retell of your exploits in person, now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to, on occasion. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her, as did I. Amazing. Well, I spend half my days in ursine form. The children demanded. I had a score of them taking turns riding upon my... I'm glad they are so comfortable with the oak. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled. Quite often. They ask after you often. To make a child smile is to dab...
Alright, he gets 2 hugs, just because he's sentimental and misses everyone.
If only we could stay like that forever.
Well, no. I would rather do that with the
Before you
Starian
go,
forever.
I have something for you. Just a...
And a duck.
Yet, they always find their way back to... Oh.
Cute. Now, who else? Jahira, spoken to. Now we got Minsk. And we just don't have Karlak.
Boo! We are not dreaming! It is our old friend! You will forgive the aroma. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk to cover. Minsk and Boo is entire. We awoke in a It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still has his fists, no? She told Minsk and Boo to behave themselves, but leave such matters for the morn. How have you filled your days since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky? Minsk has wondered how that sad-mouthed grey cloak and flighty Airy have fared, and whether Jan ever built his turnip cannon. But should you meet a red wizard, remember, you may have conquered your bloodline, but there is no shame in a small and sensible amount of murder. There is much merriment to be made before the night is done. Go and greet the others. Minsk shall make himself presentable. Ah, this pond shall do nicely, Boo, though I see no soap. So you shall have to blow the bubbles for me.
Oh, lol. Wait, who had... Will? Nani?
Cheers to you. Cheers to Withers. Cheers to all of us.
Okay. Why has he got a thing on him? Oh, Gale.
Well, well. Professor, Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy, educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake. I did offer, as a matter. However, the Blackstaff insisted I couldn't teach every subject, nor could the simulacra of myself I offered to create. So I've settled for teaching the art of illusion. Magic to confound the senses. I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, all the fear of Mystra. I surrendered the crown of Carsus to her, as I told you I would. And in return, she cured me of the orb at last. Even now, of course I haven't. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easy. Still, I hoped my students might be... Oh, they try their best, of course.
The cheek of them!
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned? And I couldn't be happier for you. A fitting reward for the sacrifices you made. I've told my students plenty of tales about... I'll be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you.
Healing my cranium trauma.
Excellent. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist the allure of... Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay... It will give us plenty of time. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these... So, in the spirit of selfless...
Oh, right. You. Hello. Yes, you helped Mr. Decarios save Baldur's Gate from the Absolute, isn't that right? Well done. You ought to come visit myself and Gale when you're able. If you can extract yourself from what I'm sure are very important responsibilities. We'll send word. Ta-ta.
Okay. Is that everybody? Spoken to you. I haven't spoken to Volo.
Seems like a century ago that we were all together, but also like nothing.
It's the star of the show. Our humble protagonist who forsook Baal to save the city. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post. Always, my friend. But the villain I must needs slay today is my greatest yet. A deadline. You won't be surprised to find I'm soon to publish a little holiday read about our adventure. I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother. You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think? Come now, you don't want to be seen as a mere... Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet... you're... But you mustn't let me hog your attention.
He looks coyly at the ground. Suddenly, he sniffs the air and wiggles. He is, however, exhausted. He's had plenty of adventures without you. The joy in the owlbear's eyes is clear.
I've missed wine. Had to resort to making my own cider recently, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. But a girl can't have fun with apples
Special
alone.
scrumpy?
You might be onto something there, though the name might need work. Somehow it sounds rude, even though I know otherwise. Always.
Hug.
That hit the spot. Don't be a stranger.
What are you doing again, Volo?
Don't worry, friend. I'll be sure to send your royalties by post.
Full of shit. Did you just turn into a bear house then?
It truly is splendid to see everyone gathered together again. Do you truly even need to ask? Of course. And I did promise the children I would bring them back a surprise. If only we could stay like that forever.
I'm gonna keep saying that. Okay.
No greater joy.
What's over here?
Were we scrounging in barrels and crates for
Solar
supplies when
ale,
we could
cups.
God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
How funny.
Away, my friend! Minsk shall soon strip, and boo.
Lol.
You know, I never really imagined Withers as much of a party thrower. But then again, I suppose our camps weren't taking care of themselves while we were out gallivanting, were they?
True.
There's hidden depths in that lovable husk. Indeed. Healing can only do so much. We'd likely be dead somewhere out in the wilderness if not for him. Don't be a stranger.
Cheers to you. Cheers to Whip.
Why are you looking at me so? I'm enjoying myself. You look upon? The man just makes friends wherever he goes, no? Ah, fine then. Or perhaps follow him and give this...
Apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
Why do you keep... Will, you always have a bloody quest.
There's something strange in your old friend's mouth. A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement. He whines. Let's talk.
Go on, talk to the others. We have forever after all.
No. Nothing else to do, right? I don't think there is.
A beautiful night. I wish it could last forever.
Okay. Hey, mate.
Here goes
What's on
nothing.
this? A warning. Interesting. Why is there a parasite?
Thou feelst it still. She is not here. She who was the boldest.
Karlach.
Hast thy thoughts been with brave Karlach often?
Yes.
Correct. Not in planes material, elemental, nor transitive can her like be found. In but 10 days, an entire life was lived. More than mortal years. Mortal centuries were hers. Thy band, thy bond, gave that life to her.
Bring her back.
Not like thou wert her kin. It was written in her heart. Surely thou knowest that. In the fugue plane, her soul burns so bright, it pains the gods to look upon. Recall that in time all changeth and all is rejoined. Thou shalt be with her again. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen.
Okay.
The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now.
What are you not telling us?
Played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself. But for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready. For thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you.
Cute. Meow.
There thou art, the dead three. Didst truly believe thy plot? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by didst think the other gods would gods thou may be. The supplication, the whimper, the death mew, felled by more. I overestimated thee. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.
Baffle leashes. Don't fuck with us mortals. What's this?
You, a thief, a liar, and a fool. We had an agreement, and you broke it. The crown was supposed to be mine. Instead of delivering it to its true home in the Hells, you allowed Gale Dicarius
Well, I told him not to.
deliver it to Mystra.
I don't understand. I don't want him to use it.
You out
Don't want him to give it to
and
her.
make queen of your soul. But it will be more amusing to let you see the consequences of your actions. Do you really think that the crown is safer in the hands of a goddess than in the claws of a devil? Look to the history of these realms. It is not the devils, but the gods who sunder, wreck, and ruin. It is the gods who instigate each new crisis. It is the gods who almost brought doom to your world. I was merely a witness to their conspiracy. And I would have dealt fairly with you. I cannot say what Mistra will do. Perhaps the crown is a mere trinket to one of her power. Or perhaps it is the key to unlocking some dreadful new potential in her portfolio. Time will tell, as it always does. Look to the heavens and pray for peace. But prepare for a cataclysm.
Bring it on. Well, there you go. I'm happy. That's done.